Line's good.
Never on.
Whoa.
Hard. Hardly.
Come on, Brent. Line's good. Got real close.
The hair high, right?
Try and hit 2/3.
Have they saved it for her? Yes, they have.
Ooh, welcome to Game of Stones, everybody. I am Sean Graham. Scott alongside, as always. Hello, Scott.
Sean, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Famously, you don't drink coffee.
Correct.
Most hot beverages, I would say, not up
Correct.
your alley. So in the morning,
Mhm.
what do you drink? Just a big glass of water?
Yeah, big glass of water. And I learned, Scott, in high school, and I think it was science class, and I don't know, maybe they were lying to us, but said that drinking water first thing in the morning by hydrating your body, but mostly your brain, it has the same stimulating effects in the morning as coffee can have, with a better long-term return because it doesn't dehydrate you.
Yeah, that's true. Coffee does do that. Famously, I only drink decaf coffee.
Yes.
So, but it's just nice. I just finished off, I think, my third cup of the day today.
Wow.
I don't know. It's just tasting good.
There you go.
So I just wanted to know that.
Yeah.
But Sean, like, I wasn't really prompted to drink coffee this curling season
No.
because Tim Hortons was rather absent from the advertising around the season of champions.
Yes, no coffee advertising this year. You were only told to eat ribs, do
Yep.
some farming,
Always.
and buy certain paper products. Was kind of the bulk of what the curling commercials were this year on TSN. Yes, this is one of our favorite episodes of the year, where we're going to go through, talk about all of the commercials that we were subjected to over and over again through the season of champions. Now that it's all done and dusted, no TSN curling until the fall. But it is an Olympic year, so more TSN curling than we had this year. So that's always fun. But Scott, we have 13 commercials that we have identified. We could actually get it to 15 if we want to, but we'll stick with 13. And these are commercials that were shown over and over again during the season of champions on TSN. We are going to break them down, and then we will rank them based on which ones we are basically willing to watch ever again. Makes them very high on the list.
Let's call it just podium this year, Sean, because I think there's a lot that could, be sorted any which way.
Okay.
So let's just pick the podium ones, and everybody else gets a thanks for coming.
Okay. All right. Well, Scott, let's just go in the order that we have them written down here on our list as we go through them. We're going to start with the Sponge Towels poolside towel commercial. And this one features a pool, and two people are making some of just the worst looking hamburgers you've ever seen. Just small, like hockey puck looking hamburgers, and a sponge towel blows into the wind and lands in the pool, and the sponge towel sucks up all the water, so much so that the one kid who's on a floaty in the pool ends up at the bottom of the pool, and there's nothing left. The pool is bone dry, and it's basically, all right, the sponge towel is very absorbing. Now,
nothing absorbs like it, Sean.
Right. Obviously, this is not an accurate reflection of what would happen if you drop a sponge towel in the pool. But Scott, I have so many questions about what is happening at this pool, because you have these two people making burgers, but they've made 4 burgers, and there's the 2 of them, and there's like 10 people laying around the pool. So who is in the burger group?
The burger
who's
club?
Not? Yeah, who's getting one of these burgers? Or are they doing like 2 patty burgers each?
Maybe they're just doing 2 burgers each.
Maybe they're not that big.
This does appear to be some sort of public pool.
Yeah.
My first instinct is that, this is like a pool at a senior's home, because everybody sitting around the pool seems to be pretty old. Yeah. There is an old man very tanned, right? With like no shirt on that
Yeah.
walks by.
Well, he comes in at the end when it's empty. It's like Don Johnson's here,
Yeah.
straight from South Beach, because that man was not wearing sunscreen before he came to this pool.
Nope, definitely not.
Like,
And it looked like he was just disappointed he couldn't get in the water. But like, was he really going to go in the water, or was he just going to lay out on a chair?
I mean, he had a floaty.
True. This could be like our dad, Sean, when we were young, loved going into the pool,
Yeah,
but mostly just because he would work, in the backyard, and then just jump in the pool for a quick cool down.
yeah.
And so maybe that was this for him. Jump in for a quick cool down.
Yeah.
Lounge around, back out. Who knows?
Yeah, but it's very strange. And then, okay, the water's gone, and the kid is still in the floaty, but nobody seems too perturbed by this. I mean, the guy's a little disappointed, but I mean, everyone just sort of, okay, we're gonna go on with our day. Also, the kid has his like over-ear headphones on, like in the pool. Like, that's stupid.
I don't know. Better than having earbuds in that might fall and sink to the bottom.
Yeah, I guess. So
overall,
this one just it leads me to have a lot of questions about who these people are, where are they, what has brought them all to the same location, because they don't seem to have much in common.
Yeah, Sean, you're probably thinking about it more than the executives thought anyone would think about it, but valid questions.
Thank you. All right, so that one goes to the top of the list immediately because we've only done one.
There you go, by default.
All right, next up is the original 16 cooking fish commercial. Scott, what's going on in this commercial? Because you flagged this one. It wasn't on my list. So what stands out to you about this one?
So this is like your most basic food commercial. I think if you're learning how to cut commercials, this would be like, oh, this is how it's done. You've got some lemons being cut, some vegetables, the lemons being squeezed over a fish, all accompanied by a cold beer being poured into a glass, and just maybe it wasn't even poured in the glass, but it was like a shot at the end of the beer, the can, and the meal. And there's the chef man who's cutting stuff, making the fish. Pretty boring commercial, but I saw it enough times that I was like, really? Like, I don't even think you can get Original 16 in Ontario. I think it's a Western Canada thing.
I think so.
Or at the Patch. You can get it at the Patch. Maybe not anymore, but they were a sponsor for a while. So yeah, it was to me, this is like a real baseline vanilla commercial. I think this would have been, if we were ranking all of them, right dead in the middle.
Right.
Did it make me want to drink Original 16? Not really. Did it
so it didn't do its job?
Did it make me want to eat some fish? Not really. I did get a little hungry. Like the shots of the cooking and the food were nice. But again, pretty basic, middle of the road ad.
Yeah, it is true to life, at least for me, when I'm cooking something a little more elaborate, usually on Sundays or on the weekend, where it might be in the kitchen for a half hour, 45 minutes, one of those type of meal preps. I like to crack one and have a drink while I'm cooking.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, Sean.
So there is some accuracy, at least for me, in that. So Scott, we're going to put that one then below the poolside towel.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. The poolside towel generates a lot more discussion and interest.
All right, next up we have PharmaSave. And Scott, there are two PharmaSave commercials. One is woman is working at computer and her mom asked her to pick up her prescriptions. The other is a man falling up the stairs, more so than down the stairs.
Oh, I think he's coming down and trips on some kids' toys or something and lands on his butt, and then has to go get some Tylenol or something from the PharmaSave. Right.
And so PharmaSave is a trusted place to go get all of your medical needs. I don't think either of these commercials, Scott, really stand out for being really good or really bad, but can you sing the PharmaSave tagline?
Yes, I can. Would you
Live
like me
well
to?
with pharmacy.
Live well with PharmaSave.
So
Yeah,
it gets that earbug. It's effective in that. So even though the first 25 seconds of the commercial don't really do much, it leaves you with that.
exactly. So
It feels very 90s because of that.
yeah, it does feel 90s. Also, like everybody's consulting with their pharmacist. I don't know, Sean, have you ever been to a PharmaSave?
No, I haven't.
There's one in my neighborhood, and it is the
Okay.
sketchiest drugstore I've ever been in. Like
Mm.
the lights are often half off.
Ugh.
No one is ever in there. The aisles are huge and sparsely stocked.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know, it's like so weird. Every time I have to go there, I'm just like weirded out a bit.
Mm.
It's sort of close to other places, which makes it convenient, but don't like doing it.
Yeah. Well, I get the sense that they're more like traditional pharmacies than say Shoppers or Rexall that are more like stores with pharmacies. Even though they I think originated as pharmacies, they've kind of expanded out to be more general store, like food,
Yeah.
necessities, and then you get your pharmacy stuff.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. There's a lot at the PharmaSave near my house. There's a lot of like medical, not medical equipment, but like medical devices like canes and
Yeah.
walkers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and you get your first aid stuff like Band-Aids and stuff there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
So I don't know, Scott. I don't like this one as much as Poolside Towel. Doesn't lead to as many questions, but I think it's more effective than Original 16.
Yeah, I think it goes below the sponge towels. The sponge towels ad is like more ambitious.
Okay, so we'll put that one in between. So it's in the number 2 spot right now. All right, let's go to the next one. It is the Canadian Olympic Curling Trials promo. This is in line with the new direction Curling Canada has gone with their promotions, where, this is what we cried for. This is what we bled for. This is what we fought for, with like the sort of deep voice over the slow motion action shots, and the players are training, and like, this is the biggest moment of our lives. This is why we do it. And yeah, like, I don't like this direction of Curling Canada commercials. I miss the fun ones. I think it's more reflective of what the sport is. Not that curling isn't, that the players don't take it seriously, that they obviously train very hard, but at its core, it's a fun social sport. So I don't like this direction of the commercials as much.
Yeah, I was just thinking about, Sean, what is it? Johnny the Hitman Chow, or
Yeah.
what? Yeah. That's the Curling Canada commercials that we like, is those sort of fun ones.
Yeah.
Even
I want to be a curling champion.
yeah, the little kids, even the one where they're in the woods and they're like, "Oh wow, you're like a real Canadian lumberjack," and then he's like, "You haven't played curling? What? Get out and do it!" Like, even
You're
that
not
was
a real Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that was a little more fun. I don't know if, does this get you like psyched to watch the trials?
No, it doesn't.
No,
I have to say. Does it
Then-
get you psyched? Does it?
a little bit?
Okay.
It's like you say, okay, there's great opportunity, great athletes. This is like what everybody's been working for the last 4 years. It is a culmination of something, right?
Yeah.
So
for sure.
It's treated with the gravitas that the event deserves, but I don't know if it's the whole the deepness or what. Just it seems a little much.
Yeah. And especially like, let's wait till it's the semifinal and it's 2-1 in the ninth end, and we're all complaining about the blank end. It's like,
Yeah.
let's sort of hang on until we get there. But yeah, I kind of miss those ones, or even like and they're still showing the one with the little girl, like, oh, just one more throw, which, by the way, that one kind of bugs me, just in the sense of, what do you mean just one more throw? You're either throwing the rock away from the glass and you got to go get it and throw it back, or you're throwing it to the glass. Like, it's not a question of one more. Like, if you're throwing away from the glass, it's 2 more. Like, And if there's one left and you're going to the glass, yeah, you're going to throw it. Of course you are, because
why not?
You have to. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I'm mixed on this one. I also don't think it's that memorable because, I mean, stylistically it is, but it's very similar to the Carrie Anderson and Brad Gushu ones they did over the past couple of years about
a little bit,
training and toughness and all that kind of stuff. I can't really think of what the words are. Like, it feels very general and like in the platitudes of sports of like, give 110% and take it one shot at a time. And this is why we lift all those weights.
And who are the people in the ad is another question. Like, I'm trying to see if I can remember. And I don't know that I do.
And that's a problem then. Because then you're not marketing your people, your players.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I was just scrolling through trying to see if I could find the ad and watch it again just to see who's in it. But like, I just have this feeling that Chelsea Carey is in it for some reason, but
maybe.
Don't know why.
I think my favorite Curling Canada commercial of all time is the woman falling through the ceiling. Chelsea Carey's being interviewed or something and asked about the fans. She's like, yeah, the fans are great. Sometimes it's a bit much, and the woman falls through the ceiling like, Chelsea!
Yeah, that one is pretty good.
I really like that one. All right, Scott, so where are we putting this one?
I'll leave this one to you. It's probably better than the original 16.
Yeah, I think it's better than PharmaSave too, even though I'm not crazy about it. I think it is better than that.
Okay, so original 16 off the podium.
Off the podium. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate it, original 16. Maybe if you do sell your stuff in Ontario, I will try it, but I've never seen it in Ontario, so that doesn't help.
Maybe with our provincial trade restrictions lifting.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Next up is a Beauty Tone ad. We think this one's a little older, but I know we haven't talked about it on the show, where you have a bunch of people who have just finished painting, watching their paint dry while the song Hungry Eyes plays. And people are just so enamored by the color of their walls that they have to stand there and watch the paint dry because the paint is so beautiful. Now, Scott, I am not one for home repairs. I'm not a handyman. But is the quality of paint really determined by the color, or isn't it the ingredients and how well the paint holds up over time? Isn't that what makes a good paint?
Well, it depends what you're looking for.
Yeah, I want a good paint that isn't going to scuff and blister and crack.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's going to look quite beautiful when it goes on the first time,
I guess.
And I think that's what you want when you're painting some of these bold colors, right?
They do pick bold colors in the commercial. It's true.
Sort of awe-inspiring moment where you're like, ooh, my feature wall, it really pops.
Yeah. Have you ever stood there and watched paint dry because it was so beautiful?
Can't say I have, Sean.
Well, there you go. You got to get some Beauty Tone paint then.
There you go. That's probably my problem. I don't know if I've ever painted anything.
Yeah. So there you go. The other thing though, like, why are these people so amazed by the color? Like, they picked it.
Yeah, but maybe it looks
they
better.
picked the color, so
maybe it looks better than it did, or maybe it looks way worse and we're interpreting it wrong.
Everyone's just angry.
Everyone's like, what the heck? This isn't what I picked.
So this is actually an advertisement for like some other paint company, and
you can name one paint company, Sean.
Yes, Beauty Tone. I cannot name another.
Oh man, you got
what is another paint company?
You've got Bear.
Isn't Bear stain?
It's got paint.
Okay.
Oh yeah. They've got paint, Sean. Don't you?
Again, I'm not a handyman.
Yeah, that's.
I've only had my house here for a year. Otherwise, before that, I was in apartments.
Do you remember that store in our town called Color Your World?
Yeah, it was right at the corner of Mountain View and Guelph Street. You couldn't miss it.
Yeah, and then so that was like where you'd go to get paint. It was like the paint store.
It was the paint store.
Now everybody
Yeah.
goes to these big box stores, Sean. What has gone wrong with our country?
Yeah, I know.
Jeez Louise.
Well, as long
That's
as they're a locally owned home hardware where you can meet the Pizant family or the Ho family or whoever else.
True. That I mean, just goes to show you, Sean. This paint commercial really makes me think. Look at this road we've trod together, going down memory lane. So the other thing about this one is it really gets the song stuck in my head.
Yeah. So where do you land on Hungry Eyes as a song? You like it?
Who sings Hungry Eyes?
I off the top of my head, I don't know.
Is it Peter Gabriel?
I don't
No.
know. Who is it? You're looking it up here. Wait.
Yeah. It's from Dirty Dancing.
Oh.
A song performed by American musician Eric Carmen, a former member of the band Raspberries, and was featured in the film Dirty Dancing.
I've never heard of the Raspberries.
There you go.
I mean, I understand what the song is saying, that you look at something longingly. I just paint color, I don't know. Like, it's used in a romantic context, isn't it? Like, isn't that the point of the song, that you're looking at your potential partner or your romantic interest in that way?
Let's look at the lyrics, Sean, because I think this is what everyone came here for. The website genius.com, formerly Rap Genius. It started as a way to know rap lyrics, but anyway. I've been meaning to tell you, I've got this feeling that won't subside. I look at you and I fantasize, you're mine tonight. Now I've got you in my sights with these hungry eyes. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Verse 2, I want to hold you, so hear me out. I want to show you what love's all about, darling, tonight. Now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel that way about paint. You can't hold paint.
No, but I think what they're trying to say is that looking at this beauty tone paint captures the same essence of feeling you get when you look at a loved one.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't
it's a
know
bit
if
of
I
a
agree.
stretch.
Bit of
it's
a
a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. All right. So Scott, where are we going to place this one?
I think it's above Pharma Saves. I think it's on the podium.
Yeah.
Would you put it ahead of the Trials promo or no?
I would say no, in the sense that this was not created for curling. We saw it a lot on curling.
Yeah.
I mean, the poolside towel one is not created for curling either, but
I think it debuted on curling.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, is it a Super Bowl ad if I see it, 2 months later? Yeah,
it's a good question. Yeah, still a Super Bowl ad. All right, so we'll put it in. It's in the bronze medal position right now.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we're going to
Connect Hearing.
And it's Scott. Hey, do you see over there? Do you see what's going on?
I see. It's Daryl Sittler and Lanny McDonald.
Can I have their autograph?
Sean, this is amazing because Daryl Sittler says, hey, those two people, they recognize us from way across this diner, it seems. And Lanny McDonald is incredulous. He's like, how do you know? What is happening? You can see them talking? And he goes, no, I can hear them. They're talking about us. And I don't know, Sean, if this is just me, but I feel like Daryl Sittler and Lanny McDonald were old hockey players when we were children.
Yes, they were. They're both retired, I think.
No, Lanny McDonald played into the 90s.
Okay.
Because I think he was on those Flames Stanley Cup teams. But
okay. The ones that won in the 80s?
When did they win? 88, 89?
That sounds right. They didn't win in the 90s because it was the Penguins, right?
Relax, Sean.
Yeah.
It's the 90s. Don't worry about it. And like, so there's a mother with her young daughter there.
The mother's probably younger than us.
Yeah, or around our age. Like, let's see, around our age. And you think she's like, oh man, that's Daryl Sittler and Lanny McDonald. Whoa. Crazy.
I mean, they might have been her parents' favorite players.
Yeah, but like I okay, maybe I'm just doubting that she's a big hockey fan, and would know that. I don't know that I would know.
I wouldn't be able to.
It's Daryl
Laney
Sittler and
McDonald,
Lenny.
maybe. Laney McDonald's more recognizable just because of the mustache.
Yeah, he kept that mustache,
Yeah.
right? But I don't know. Daryl Sittler is pretty recognizable, but I love it, Sean. I love everything about it.
Okay.
I love that he's talking about how invisible his hearing aids are. This combines all the things we love about great ads that run during curling. It's targeted at old people with hearing aids. It's in some situation that seems like it would never happen, like Daryl Sittler and Lenny McDonald are just having coffee at this diner or something.
Yeah.
And then a little girl says, "Can we have a selfie?" Why? Was she going to put this on social media and
Yeah.
say I met these two old farts at the coffee shop today? Because
So all of her friends can be like, "Who's that?"
yeah, because like she didn't know.
Right.
And even when her mom, I'm assuming it's her mom. Maybe it's her aunt. Maybe it's a cool big sister, little sister thing. I don't know. But even then, she would have been like, "Who cares?" Right? No.
Because if the mom or the whoever it is, if we're assuming it's the mom, is the big fan of these two guys, she's the one who's going to want the photo. Even if
Right.
she asks the kid to go do it because it's more likely they'll say yes to the kid.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. You're
Yeah.
using your child as a
Yeah.
way to get this cool picture.
Yeah.
But Sean, I love this commercial. It's my favorite.
Okay.
I want it at the top.
All right. I will not get in your way then, Scott. We will put it at the top of the list ahead of the poolside sponge towels. All right.
Maybe I'll get my hearing checked too, just because of this commercial.
All right. Well, we know where you can get some affordable hearing aids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Next up, we're going back to the paper products. We are going to the Scotty's sneeze trigger commercial, where every time you say Scotty's or someone sneezes, this guy has been hypnotized to say Scotty's.
Sean, this is great. This one's very funny.
So what are the scenarios here? So one is he is testifying in some sort of trial.
Yes.
And he says, who did whatever.
Hold on, Sean. This is an important line.
Okay. Yeah. What is the line? I can't remember it.
So can you tell us who committed these heinous crimes?
And then the bailiff sneezes.
And he goes, Scotty's. And everyone goes, as if like Scotty is the one definitely on trial.
Right. So yeah, that's what it is, right? Scotty's on trial and he knows that the perpetrator of these heinous crimes was actually Bob.
Yeah.
But the bailiff sneezed at just the wrong time.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that one. The only other one I can think of is they're in the cave and there's a bear sleeping.
Yeah.
And it says, we got to be quiet. And then someone sneezes very softly and he just like, it doesn't indicate at the start that he has to yell Scotty's, but at all the other ones, he just says it. But in the cave with the bear, it goes from Scotty's to Scotty's. Like,
yeah, not great. The other one that's coming to mind immediately is he's on a game show, like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
And she says, "What brothers invented the airplane?" Yeah. And then he says Scotty's, which doesn't really make a lot of sense because, famously on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, final answer?
Final answer.
Is that your final answer? But yeah, he lost the money there. And then there was one other that I'm forgetting. But my favorite line from this is the prosecutor or the one who's examining him says, "Who committed these heinous crimes?" It really makes a meal of that line reading.
Yep. There's no small parts, Scott, only small actors.
No, I would hire that person to be in my ad because it's just great.
Yeah.
So I'll see if I can find the other situation while we're talking here, but where would you put it?
Well, I think I might put it at the top because it addresses sort of an issue, right? That all tissue products have, is that people just call it Kleenex. And like, so it's noting that people refer to their product by a different brand name. And like that's why he's done this, to actually say this correctly, to actually get the product name right. So it kind of acknowledges that elephant in the room for the product itself, and it is chuckle worthy.
Yeah, I agree. I think all right, I'm not going to find this quickly,
Okay.
but I did find a website called tissueonlinenorthamerica.com celebrating 5 years.
Congratulations to them.
Scotties launches humorous campaign to correct brand name confusion. Canada's leading facial tissue brand enlisted hypnosis in a playful new campaign to ensure Canadians call their tissues by the right name. Yeah.
There you go. So good job by that website. Also, 5 years, nice little pandemic project for somebody.
I guess so. Like,
Yeah.
who knew, right?
Yeah.
Who knew that that it just was so popular?
Yeah. So Scott, I'm going to put this, for me, it's the best one so far.
Okay. Yeah, I'll bite. Let's do it. I like Connect Hearing better just because I think it's funnier and
Okay.
it's what we expect.
Yeah.
Well, it's not funnier, but it's what we expect of curling is for, this is in the same vein as the acorn chairlift.
It is. Yeah. But not quite as campy. It's close, but not quite as campy.
Not quite. No.
All right, Scott. Next, we're going to go to the Gold Line commercial. And this is a commercial that features your everyday players all around the curling club, from the locker room to the bar to the ice, talking about how great the products are, from the shoes to the brooms, to the gloves, everything. Scott, I have a few things with this commercial that I would like to know about. One, why is it start the first person you see, or the second person you see, right? It's introduced currently, is the bartender who's drying a glass. Like,
yes,
that's the first thing in the commercial. And she's like, hey, yeah, these brooms are great, as she's like rubbing the glass with the cloth. Like, why? Like,
well, Sean, maybe it's a member run club where the members take turns behind the bar, and she's just talking about how good an experience she just had on the ice, but she's got to clean the glass. You got to get that work done.
Like, she could be on the ice anyway. I don't understand why that's first. That should be last. Like, it'd be like, hey, like, and now I realize not everywhere across the country has the system where if you win, you buy the drinks, but you could say something like, hey, you use our products, you're going to be up here a lot, or something for the East Coast people, and the West Coast people could just be confused by that.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
The thing though, there is a moment in the commercial where it's two people and they're talking about how great the brooms are. It's a man and a woman, and they're standing just beyond the hog line, and there's they're not the ones throwing, and two people are sweeping and going in front of them. And as they talk about how the brooms glide so effectively and how great they are. It's about 10 seconds into the ad.
Yeah.
I have some questions about this, Scott, because it dawned to me when I saw it. I thought, those sweepers are not moving particularly fast.
No, they're not.
So I did some math. The curling sheet.
I just watched it.
It's 72 feet from hog line to hog line. Okay. So an average draw at like an elite level event, which is the fastest ice you're going to get, 14 and a half seconds for a draw, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Hog to
maybe
hog?
15 and a half probably.
Okay. Which is even better. Okay. So a 14 and a half second draw means the rock is moving 4.965 feet per second. A 17-second guard means that the rock is traveling 4.235 feet per second. So if we take that this is a guard that these people are sweeping, this woman delivers her line and is on camera for 2.74 seconds. That means that she is 10 feet wide. That is the only possible explanation, because they move the width of her. That's as far as they go in the 2.74 seconds that they are on camera. So this is the widest person in the history of the world.
Yeah, it's not super realistic, but Sean, listen, like maybe this is a beginning to curl, event where you're learning, and some people throw it and they just don't throw it very hard. So
Right, but that means that this rock hogged. And if this, because they're outside the hog line, and do you really want in your ad talking about how great the sprooms are, even though a hog is not necessarily the sweeper's fault, to see that they couldn't track it over the hog line?
Well, Sean, they're at the first hog line.
Oh, that's even worse.
I know.
Anyway, once I saw it, I couldn't not see how slow they're moving.
Yeah, they're moving very slow.
Yeah.
Since you pointed it out, it's like, wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So
the first person, Sean, who's seen there, is a famous curling photographer. He's always at the curling events, and I forget his name right now, which is annoying. But the great thing about this ad is it's like a whole bunch of curling people. Like it's real people.
It's real people who are part of the curling community. Yes, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is cool to see.
Yeah.
And I wish that I had
there's a version of it where Andrew Paris is in one of them. He's not in this one we're talking about, but he's been in them for sure. So yeah, it's cool that you can see people who you recognize from the sport.
Yeah. And I think it does a good job too of painting a wider picture of the sport of curling rather than just a bunch of white guys, if it was like Brad Gushu's team or something, right? Like it would be, it shows a more representative of Canada version of a curling center where people are playing, and it's all types of people from all different walks of life. So I like that about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And also like you're trying to sell to average curlers. So why not put average curlers into the commercials,
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one, I can't remember if she's in this one, but Sabina Islam, who's been on the show before, she's in one of these commercials as well. So yeah, it's like people who are part of the curling community. So that is very cool to see. So Scott, where do we put this one?
I think it's probably better than Sponge Towels, but below Connect Hearing.
Yeah, I agree. I think because it's not particularly funny, and nor is it trying to be funny. And it's only memorable to me just because I couldn't help but notice how slow those people are moving.
They're moving very slow. I think that, knocks it down for sure.
Yeah. All right. Next up, it is a PointsBet commercial featuring Team Jacobs. I have this vague recollection, Scott, and this is them. They're at the Winsport in Calgary, and they're just talking about the dangers or potential dangers of gambling and be safe and don't bet more than you can afford to lose, all that kind of stuff. The things that are very important when you're talking about gambling. I have this vague recollection that this was a commercial of Team Jacobs as Team Botcher. Yeah, Brendan Botcher was in the commercial. Yeah. So do you think they redid the whole thing, or they just redid Brad Jacobs' part?
I think they just redid Brad Jacobs' part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where does so the commercial in and of itself is unremarkable, but the fact that they had to recast it or reshoot at least part of it, it's like there's a Seinfeld episode. The first time Frank Costanza appears, he's played by a different actor, John Randolph, and then that episode aired on NBC, and then they decided that they wanted to change the actor, and they brought in Jerry Stiller, and Larry David convinced NBC to let him reshoot the parts of that other episode with Jerry Stiller, so that in syndication, George didn't have two fathers. Yeah, that's kind of what this is.
It's kind of what it is. Yeah, yeah. What's remarkable to me about all these betting commercials is it's basically like, don't bet, but bet.
Bet please. Yeah.
Because like, come on. Anyway, I agree. Like, it's important to say all these things, but you could also just not take the money from PointsBet to be a sponsor.
Yeah, you could.
We haven't, is all I'll say.
Yeah, and I would recommend the Michael Lewis season of Against the Rules, talking about the gambling industry. Just to get a sense of it. So yeah. This one, is only, to me, it's only remarkable because they had to recast it. But to me, it's at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. All right. Next up is the Rocks and Rings commercial. This one is the same style of Rocks and Rings commercial as we have traditionally got. Kids in a school having a great time. But what's different this year is the casting on it, is that Mark Idison is featured. He has been Canada's skip at the Paralympics multiple times. And this year was on the mixed doubles, the wheelchair mixed doubles team that had a great week and then unfortunately stubbed their toe in the quarterfinal. But Scott, typical Rocks and Rings commercial, the kid at the end is giving it socks in his dance. He is, you talk about the lawyer in the Scotty's commercial making the most of his chance. This kid was not, he's center stage, right at center of the camera. He's going at it.
Yeah, and loving every minute of it. And that's what it should be. This really does make Rocks and Rings look very exciting and fun to participate in. And it makes it more likely that the kid would sort of bug their teachers or bug their parents to say, hey, can we have this at our school? Like, it looks so fun. And it really does look like a lot of fun. And it looked fun in the old ad. But, as for all of us, Father Time continues to march on. And so you got to update it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's great. They're having fun. It's a good showcase. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. It's that last vignette of the kid. And I don't even know how to describe the dance. He's kind of like jumping back and forth and kind of like one finger out, like pointing down and around to the ground and like going side to side, like getting into it. And then if you can get beyond how much fun the kid's having, look at the people behind the kid too, because they are not having as much fun, which makes it that much more fun for me. Like they're just sort of having their hands up and they're smiling, but compared to the kid, they don't look that happy. So it's sort of like, and it does look like Mark Idison had been there all day and had been pretending to cheer for like 6 hours by the time they shot this one, because he's just sort of going up and down with his arms, like he's been doing it all day. And like when you say a word over and over, it doesn't mean anything anymore. It feels like he's been cheering so long that it's hard to generate any enthusiasm for what's happening.
Definitely. I don't know. I think I'm just watching it now. I think the kids are having fun.
I think so.
Mark Idison looks like he's having fun too. He's got a big smile on, but he is going kind of like up and down with his arms.
Yeah. Like he's been doing it for 3 hours. Like,
yeah. Did we get the shot yet?
Can I go home, please? The craft service table is empty. I would like to go home now.
I think this is good, Sean. I think it's probably better than Gold Line.
I agree that it's better than Gold Line. It's,
even though it's a derivative of the first Rocks and Rings commercial, it's still fun. I don't know.
Yeah. So we're putting that behind Hearing Life and ahead of Gold Line.
Sean, you'll never get me to say anything's better than Connect Hearing.
Okay. All right. So
maybe it's not even Connect Hearing. Wouldn't that be crazy?
That would be crazy.
I'm pretty sure it is. But,
All right. Next up is the Cashmere Softness is Strength commercial. Scott, what's going on in the Softness is Strength commercial?
So, Sean, this one is a woman getting out of bed, stepping on like a very plush carpet, putting on a super plush robe. Maybe she's putting a hat on that super plush. It's all things that are like super puffy, super plush.
Right. Getting
ready to face her day. And it's just insinuated that cashmere is also as soft as all this poofy, soft stuff. You didn't even remember this one, right?
No, this one's not particularly memorable for me. So
yeah, so I felt like we had to get all the Scott paper ones in together, but it's very unmemorable.
Yeah, so I might put it below, probably below Cook the Original 16, above Team Jacobs.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay. So that will go into the second to last position right now. Then we have, this one's new this year, is Muti Tomatoes, where you have the president of the company or the founder of the company, Mr. Muti, talking about how much he loves tomatoes. And Scott, you should find yourself a partner who looks at you the way this man looks at tomatoes, is what we all want. But what I find interesting about the commercial is that he's talking about tomatoes and we care about tomatoes, do everything for tomatoes. And then he runs after the tractor that is hauling away the tomatoes as one is about to fall. And he sprints after the tractor and dives and catches and saves this tomato. If I work for Moody Tomatoes, I don't want the founder of the company chasing after every potential dropped tomato or following me around like this guy, because but based on how much he says he loves tomatoes, what followed this was him screaming at the tractor driver saying, slow down, why did you overload this so much? You shouldn't have risked all of these tomatoes. What is wrong with you? Like, the tractor driver probably got fired.
Maybe the tomatoes look really good though, right?
Yeah.
And that little sauce, wooden spoon.
But also, like he says, oh, we love, like, it's all about freshness. Like, we do everything for freshness. You know what's fresher than canned tomatoes? Fresh tomatoes.
Yeah. That's well.
Like, if you love tomatoes so much, why don't you just like sell me the tomatoes?
Well, Sean, I can't get the tomatoes all the way from Parma to my dinner table here in Canada.
Well,
if I want the freshness of these Italian tomatoes, I'm going to need them to be preserved in a way.
In a can with a lot of salt and preservatives. Actually, I don't know what Moody Tomatoes uses. I have no idea. I shouldn't say.
Yeah, you know what? I think I bought some tomato paste in a tube yesterday.
Oh.
Because you ever you go and buy like little cans of tomato paste?
It's never the right amount.
Never the right amount.
No.
And I was just tired of it.
Yeah.
And then I saw in the store, oh, hey, there's this tomato paste in a squeeze tube, like a toothpaste.
Mm.
And I said, let's buy it. So I'll tell you how it goes, because I think I'm going to use some tonight.
Is it Muti?
It might be. Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe this advertising worked on me.
Yeah. All right. So, Scott, I would put this one, I think it's above Pharmasave, but below Beauty Tone for me. Where do you have it?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
The Beauty Tone sticks in my head a little bit more than this one.
Yeah. All right. Now, the last one that we have here, and this is not one that was shown during the curling proper, but during the Women's World Championship, when they replayed the games in the morning, Eastern time, they played on the weekend, the playoff games, they played over and over again commercials for Seniors Choice Life Insurance, the number one life insurer for Canadians aged 50 to 80. There's two versions of this commercial. They're the same commercial. One is a man with his son and grandson, and they're hanging out, and then he calls to get a quote for life insurance. And the other one is a woman at yoga, and then she calls to get life insurance. What stands out to me about these ads, Scott, is that when they call, the man is quoted as with, you can get life insurance up to $250,000 in benefit for as low as $17.02 a month. When the woman calls, she can get up to $250,000 of a benefit for $14.88 a month, or as low as $14.88 a month. So there is a discrepancy of $2.14 on the lowest possible rate between men and women, according to these two commercials.
Yes, there is.
That just seems, I mean, I guess women are less likely to die between the ages of 50 and 80. That has to be it, right?
Yeah, it's actuarial science. So women do live longer on average, and so would have lower premiums to pay on life insurance.
There you go. Hashtag feminism.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think I haven't seen this one, Sean. So I only watch live. don't go in for any of this second run type
Sure.
business. It does mean that I've lost some games because my recorder cuts off before the end, which is very annoying. But yeah, please fix that, Bell. Roger's had it figured out. But yeah, so this falls into the category of senior commercials that we like so much. Where do you think it should go?
I think it should go last because it's not like curling proper. It wasn't on the live ones, but it was in high rotation during the replays. So I just wanted to note it because of that.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other two, let's get to 15 real quick. We'll go through these fast. There's 2 Fresh Pet commercials where one is a guy on a date and the woman says, "Oh, you keep pet food in the fridge." And he's like, "Oh, it's not pet food, it's Fresh Pet." And she's like, "Well, that's or dog food." She said, "It's dog food." And then he throws her out. And the other is a sister who has her like camper work from anywhere thing, and she throws her other sister out because she's like, "You keep your dog food in the fridge. That seems like a lot of space to waste on a dog." Now, here's my issue with this commercial, Scott. If you buy Fresh Pet and keep your dog food in the fridge, okay, like go for it. Live your best life. And yes, nobody should criticize you for doing that. But also, if you're throwing your sister out in the middle of nowhere because she thinks you shouldn't do, like, nobody looks good. I don't want to be friends with any of these people.
Yeah, they're all terrible people.
They all seem unreasonable to me.
Yeah. What it shows me is that people who buy this sort of pet food to keep it in the fridge have really quick triggers.
Yeah, they really do. Like get out, you know? And yeah, like I have no problem with making sure pets get the best food possible. You want them to be healthy and strong, but to throw out your sister, I mean, there's clearly some underlying tension there that like
exactly,
man. And you assume on the other one, it's a first date. Okay. If you're going out with somebody and you have a dog and they don't like dogs, yeah, that's not going to work out long term. So sure. But
yeah, Sean, I have some sad news to break here on the podcast.
Breaking news.
The hearing aid is actually for Connect Hearing.
Oh no,
not Hearing Life. So we have to go all the way back, dub over everything with Hearing Life. Where it says Hearing Life, go Connect Hearing.
All right, I will actually do that. And now when people get to this part of the show, you'll know why it sounds so weird throughout the whole episode. And yeah, so there you go. All right. So Scott, I would put the Fresh Pet one. Again, it was heavy rotation during the curling, but not really a curling specific one. So where would you put it?
I think I'd put it probably below Muti Tomatoes. I don't like it as much as Muti Tomatoes.
Yeah, I agree. I think it might, for me, it might even go below PharmaSave just because the PharmaSave tag at the end.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I agree.
So we'll put that down and move this in. All right. So those are our commercials. So currently, Scott, our top 3 are the Scotty's Sneeze Trigger, the Connect Hearing ad with the Lanny McDonald and Daryl Sittler selfie, and the Rocks and Rings updated version.
Anything you want to move on to the podium?
Yeah, this one's tough. So the next one we have is Gold Line, and then it's the Sponge Towels Poolside Towel after that.
Yeah.
It's the one I would move is Rocks and Rings only because it's the same version of an old commercial, but it's updated in a way that makes it stand out for a couple reasons. So
yeah, and I mean the Gold Line one is also there's also been similar commercials.
Yeah.
Does the Sponge Towels move the needle enough in being so weird that it gets up there?
I think I would put it, as we look at this, I might put it ahead of the Gold Line one. I don't know if it's above any of the three we have on the podium right now, though.
Okay, because that's the only one that I think I feel strongly enough about to move up.
Okay, I agree. So I'll move it up here just by one then. I'll move Gold Line down. So Sponge Towels gets an honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Yeah, I think that's better.
Okay. All right. So we'll run through them real quick. Here is our list, our ranking of the curling commercials for 2025. First is the Scotty's Sneeze Trigger. Next is the Connect Hearing, Lana McDonald and Daryl Sittler. Third is Rocks and Rings, the updated version with Mark Idison. Those are your podium finishers. And then an honorable mention to the poolside towel at Sponge Towels. Next is the Gold Line commercial, how great the equipment is going around the club, people talking about it. Then the Canadian Olympic Curling Trials promo, Hungry Eyes Beauty Tone Paint. That'll be followed by Muti Tomatoes. Then the PharmaSave commercial, where the woman is picking up prescription for her mom and the guy falls on the stairs. Then it's the Fresh Pet commercials, followed by Cashmere Softness is Strength. Then Team Jacobs, the recast Team Jacobs, talking about PointsBet. And then finally, the Senior's Choice Life Insurance. Scott, how do you feel about that list for the 2025 curling commercials?
I think we did a good job overall of capturing these commercials. Some others that maybe, they're not eligible for this because there are commercials we see every day, but that got stuck in my head. Cars for Kids. A lot of good Scotty Barnes and Jack.
Yes, a lot of that.
Doing Google ads. I like those.
Yeah,
they're fun.
The one that I think is the weird one is people are like the guys taking the Raptors photo, like they all have like a letter painted on their chest, and they're just like, "Oh, use ad me," and then but why can't Scotty Barnes or Jack Armstrong just go over and take the photo for them?
No, they don't do that, man. they don't get out of they don't get out of bed for taking photos of people. No way. But good point. Yeah, I like that one. So a lot of good stuff this year, Sean. At first, when we started with the Season of Champions with the Scotties, I was like, I don't know if we're going to have that many new ads this year. Mm-hmm. But, we've turned out a great list. Very happy we've done this. Please let us know if there's something we missed. I can't believe there is. I watched a lot of curling this year, Sean, more than usual, and I'm proud of the commercials we put together.
Yeah, so that is our list. I'll put the list down in the show notes below. So let us know what your list is, and if we missed any out, do let us know, and that'll do it for this week. This is a fun episode to do. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you want more like this over the course of the summer, please do subscribe wherever you get your podcast, like, rate, comment, all that good stuff. Helps other people find the show, keeps us growing. You can head on over to GameOfStonesPod.com. Past episodes are there, plus a link to the merch. I'll see if I can take the time and I maybe do a blog post about the commercials. If I can find links to the ads themselves, we'll put that together over there as well. And if I do that, I'll put that in the show notes if you want to go watch some of these. Although, maybe you're missing them, or maybe like deep in August, you'll be like, "Ooh, those commercials!" And I'll have that list for you compiled over there, and you can follow along with everything we got going on the socials at Game of Stones Pod, Game of Stones Podcast on Facebook, and if you want to let us know what you want to hear on the show, Game of Stones Podcast at gmail.com. Scott, this is the weird time I always find where the curling season is done, but our softball season hasn't started yet. So, throughout 11 months of the year, I have some sort of sporting activity that I participate in. And then this point of April, because in the fall they overlap, but then there's this month, early mid-April into May, where I just have all this extra time on my hands.
I know it's pretty weird. I don't like it, right?
Yeah, because the weather's still not great enough typically to spend too much time outside.
Yeah,
Like,
and so I do I want to go for a walk? Do I not?
Yeah.
But I think by the time softball comes around, we'll be locked in, ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the team this year. We've got a big squad.
Yeah, which is necessary.
And I think it'll be good.
Yeah. So even as we turn our attention to the summer, we will be here along the way talking curling, some nonsense curling, I'll admit, but also some fun ones. We got I think a really good list of stuff for the summer this season.
Sean, do we want to tee up what we're doing in May?
We could tee up what we're doing in May. Scott, what are we doing in May?
Well, Sean, as everyone knows, May starts with the letter M.
Yeah.
As does movies. Yeah. So we are going to be doing Movie May here on the Game of Stones podcast, putting out an episode every week where we mention or talk about some sort of movie or curling media.
Yes. So that is what we're going to be doing for May. We're going to just park all of the news and things that are happening in the world of curling. We're going to do Movie May. We have 4 different, they're not all feature films by any means, but they're but they center on curling that we're going to talk about. Movie May is coming in May. So yeah, please do subscribe if you want to follow along with all that. And if you have suggestions for stuff, we have everything decided already. We have the movies that we're going to watch. That's determined. But if you have ideas for other movies or other sort of things that you'd want us to talk about, summer can get long sometimes, but so you can let us know what you want. But that's what May is going to look like on the show. So please do subscribe and follow along with that. We're very excited to get that one going. So until we join you again, thanks for listening. And as always, keep those brooms on the ice and don't dump that insert.
Make the final.